Hey friends, I am back on Olga is Cooking. Great to see you. I am making a really quick recipe this morning. It kind of came to my attention that I need to bring an offering of housewarming at a visit that I'm going to this evening, and I need to make something really fast. This recipe is just that for me. It is chocolate chip cookies, but the interesting thing about them, which makes them a little different and a little faster to prepare, is they're made with olive oil instead of butter. So no need to get your butter out overnight to soften. It does have one egg, which should be at room temperature, but a little trick: to get eggs at room temperature when you don't have a lot of time, just run them under hot water for a bit and they're good to go. So in my bowl right now, I've put 2/3 of a cup of brown sugar and 1/3 of a cup of white sugar. So in total, 1 cup of sugar. I guess you could go all brown or all white if you want, but it's nice to mix up those sugars for caramelization, taste profile. Brown gives it a little bit of chewiness, which the white will not, which is kind of nice. So let's crack our egg in here and whisk it away. Another thing that I love about this recipe is we don't need a mixer, which is kind of nice. So we are whisking this beautifully until it gets kind of light and fluffy, depending on your upper arm strength. And let me tell you, mine is pretty poor. It will take you a long time or not a long time. But this is looking pretty good. Okay, so into this, I'm gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, or 1 teaspoon of regular table salt. The sea salt's a little bit more potent. And I will add about 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I'm not gonna measure that. I love the taste of vanilla in cookies, so don't worry about that. And we're whisking. So now it's gonna be a bit of a two-hand job. This recipe calls for 1/2 cup. I've lost my 1/2 cup. 1/2 cup of olive oil. So the key to baking with olive oil, and what I think turns a lot of people off, is olive oil can be quite strong. It's obviously can have a very, I'm gonna say pungent, but a very strong flavor. So when you are baking with olive oil, you really wanna try to find an olive oil that is as lightly scented as possible, isn't really super strong. This olive oil that I have, I'm gonna be perfectly honest, you know I'm Greek, so I have to use Greek olive oil. It's often challenging to source Greek olive oil at regular grocery stores. It hasn't yet come up to the prominence as Italian olive oil, even Spanish. A lot of grocery stores carry that Moroccan or Tunisian olive oil as well. So I was able to find this Greek olive oil from Costco. Now let me tell you, it's pretty good. Price point is nice. If you're a member, go check that out. If not, you can use Italian if you want. I'm not gonna cry about it. So we're pouring, but I simply cannot. We're pouring the olive oil into this mixture and just whisking. Bit of a two-hand job there. So once this is all whisking together, you want it to be really nice and shiny. That's kind of what the olive oil will do for us. So let's take a look at that. Nice and shiny, beautiful color. Now we are going to transfer, we're gonna move from a whisk to a measuring spoon, and this is to a wooden spoon. And this is only because once the whisk is working action-wise with flour, everything just congeals in here and it just becomes a hot mess to get everything out. So I've got in here 1 1/3 cups of regular all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. And we are whisking that into our bowl. Very nice. We're now gonna mix this just until I don't see any streaks in the mixture. It doesn't take that long. When I'm kind of halfway done, I'm gonna add my chocolate chips. This is dealer's choice. You wanna put in dark, semi-sweet milk, whatever. You could do butterscotch, white chocolate, score flavored, whatever. It's your taste. I've got about a cup in here. And again, you can increase or decrease the chocolate per your liking. Nuts and chocolate chip cookies can often be a polarizing question. I'm gonna be honest, I have some cashews in my house right now that I seem to be eating way too quickly. So in the interest of me not doing that, I've chopped them and I'm gonna put them in this cookie recipe. So I've added some cashews into this recipe. You don't have to. You don't have to add nuts at all. I don't like raisins in my chocolate chip cookies because that just seems big time wrong. Okay, this is well mixed. Here's what it looks like. There are a lot of chocolate chips in here, which is good for me, hopefully good for you. So I'm gonna let this batter sit for about 30 to 60 minutes, just to allow the flour to hydrate in with all the ingredients. After it kind of sits on the counter for about half an hour, I am gonna chill it in the fridge. You can chill it overnight or just for a couple of hours. This allows the batter to be way easier to maneuver when you use your cookie scoop. So I'm gonna see you in a second for you, a couple of hours for me, when we're ready to put these on the baking sheet. Cool? Okay, so olive oil chocolate chip cookies, our latest installment of Olga is Cooking. I'm gonna see you soon. Filakya!